with no retreat. Failures never taste the sweet. Science lessons learned in flight. Journey on to endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet didn't kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Orbit dreams won't be delayed. Lessons learned from missions made. Kerbal Time will forge a path to the stars beyond this path. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet didn't kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Keep flying through the light.
Hey, what's going on? All right, welcome to Space News. It is May 7th, 2025, and I have a plethora of links to share with you. I am EJ, your host, and this is the Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. YouTube chats. Tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. You in the hat. So let me just transfer the links over, and then we'll get ready to go. Transferring all of the links. What is that? What is this one? Okay. How's everybody doing? Dude, I needed to get that stuff right. If you've been watching the stream live, I needed to get some stuff right in my head with what's going on with that car. I needed to prove it. We had a little, today was a day of ups and downs with the car again. We found out that the frame was bent out back, but we realized it was bent because it wasn't tying into anything and gravity was doing its thing. So Not the worst problem to have, but yeah, I needed to take a second and get that right in my head. I needed to understand that that's exactly what was going on before we went any further. So here I am. Hello. I should put a hat on. We'll go with good old Cleater today. There we go. I did eat, for anybody else that cares. Primo made meatloaf. It was excellent. It was great. Have you watched Andor Season 2? I've only watched a little bit of it. No spoilers. 2-month statute of limitations in the stream on spoilers. The car was painful today. Yeah. We know that the front sags a little bit, and we're gonna need to fix that. We know the front sags, and we know that the back was bent, but we'll dial it all back in. Yeah, that for the people that didn't know. Yeah, the back of the car. If you look, there's a jack under the left frame rail. I could probably move that frame rail about an inch up and down before it starts moving anything else on the car. Now, don't get me wrong, it doesn't need to go an inch up and down. It's just not, it's not tied into anything. It's just floppy, you know? So we have bent frame rails. That frame rail is out of whack because it was rusted out. It wasn't connected to anything. Yum Food, 24-month resub. Feels like yesterday. Only birds flap, not frame rails. Yeah, so we're gonna have to restore all structural integrity to that car, but I got the right parts coming. We can patch up those frame rails. We'll rebuild the back. We will get it perfectly true, dial it back into the sill plate, and get that thing perfectly square out back. It's not rocket science, guys. We could get it to rocket science spec if you really wanted to, though. But, yeah, I needed to get that order of operations right in my head. Yeah. Here's a thought. Steel is a bit pricey at the moment. What about a sturdy little trailer? Well, I have no idea what that means, dude. I'm sorry. As the basis of a frame jig. Huh. Dude, that's not a bad idea. That's really, actually, I really like that idea. Because, yeah, you know the trailer is true. Oglux, that's a good idea, dude. Anyway, all right, check this out. We have a video from Stratolaunch. Take a look.
But how can you go faster?
Good ignition.
Wait, what did that say? No, what the hell? What is
You
this?
think you're going fast, but how can you go faster?
Yes.
Good ignition. Good ignition.
Hypersonics has been around for a long time, and when we say hypersonic, we mean flying at speeds on the order of 5 times the speed of sound or greater.
The United States is the pioneer of hypersonic flight. However, hypersonics in this country has also been a bit of a roller coaster.
There are a set of capabilities now that our peer competitors have that we don't currently have in the United States.
So it really is imperative that we not only match that capability, but exceed it.
Going back to the 1960s, America has led the forefront of hypersonic
I've touched that plane.
capability, technology, and flight experimentation.
The X-15, the super-fast rocket plane. 199 flights were made, many along the fringes of space.
An X-15 was a workhorse and became a bedrock of research of hypersonic data.
And that was a manned hypersonic aircraft. Talon A really pushes the boundary to be autonomous.
Talon A2, or TA2 for short, is the very first hypersonic, fully reusable,
It'll
fully
get claimed,
autonomous
Oculus.
flight test vehicle.
This country really needs hypersonic flight test capability, a capability where we can demonstrate technologies in the hypersonic environment. To do that, though, we had to go along and prove our capability, so we started with a subsonic glider that we called TA-0. Its role was to demonstrate that we could actually separate safely from our carrier aircraft, and then we coasted down and went into the ocean. Then we wanted to incrementally improve, so now we had to light the rocket engine. That vehicle was TA-1. An expendable system that went high supersonic was an absolutely great flight. Today now is about putting that all together.
And it's a big deal to design a hypersonic vehicle that can come back and land at very, very slow speeds.
TA-2 flight will make history, flying those experiments and those new technologies on the vehicle and gathering flight test data. It is new, it has never been done before.
I'm sorry?
I have to go to book club. Can I take these keys?
Yeah, just don't lose them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Chat says hi. I missed it.
At very, very slow speeds.
TA-2 flight will make history, flying those experiments and those new technologies on the vehicle and gathering flight test data. It is new, it has never been done before.
Joshua approach, Rock 01, super experimental. Mojave runway 30 looking for clearance.
Talon systems are all reporting good, Rock is reporting good, and weather is all reporting good.
Rocco 01, squawk 4667.
And test control, we had a good thumbs full here for takeoff. We'd like the engine heater off, and you are go.
Rock 01, we're going to head out towards that water at this time.
Okay, red team, you're clear.
At test control, you're go to take off now.
Okay, go ahead, Glenn.
Okay, ready for takeoff, sir.
Okay, here it comes.
Today is a huge day for Talon A. I'm ready to see TA-2 fly and land.
The Talon A vehicle is really the first autonomous reusable hypersonic demonstration. And so that's a really important milestone for the nation.
So this is a tremendous moment because now we can demonstrate the first reusable hypersonic aircraft since the X-15.
And the aircrew has made their turn to the northeast and is tracking on the flight plan you see on your screen. T0 drop time is 9:18 local Mojave time. That is what we estimate to be the hot pass drop.
Rock 01, green range.
So Rock is up now. We're expected to launch. Everyone should know their positions. Get to the aircraft, then we'll go ahead and we will get the payloads and get back here and start doing everything we need to do for recovery to get the aircraft back in the trucks.
Control, you are clear to release in accordance with steps 22 through 50.
5, 4, 3.
Release.
She's ready to leave.
Bro, that's sick.
Right there. Ready to beam us. Wow.
And test control, Talon's at 60,000 feet, Mach 1.15 nominal. Test control, Talon's at 104,000 feet, Mach 5 on condition. Test control, Talon is MECO nominal. And test control, you are cleared to descend. Test control, we're 6.5 nautical miles out. We're on a nominal approach length. Test control, Talon's 0.3 nautical miles away from the runway.
Dude, look at
Test
that.
control, gear has deployed. Test control, Talon's flaring.
Yo, that's pretty impressive, dude. They
Test
did,
control, Talon's
Coltec, yes.
Test control, Talon has landed.
That's a huge accomplishment, guys. Congratulations to everyone. That was incredible.
Can I see that again? Hold up a second. Hang on a minute here.
Joshua approach, Rock 01, super experimental. Mojave runway 30 looking for clearance.
Talon systems are all reporting good, Rock is reporting good, and weather is all reporting good.
Rocco 01, squawk 4667.
And test control, we had a good thumbs full here for takeoff. We'd like the engine heater off, and you are go.
Rock 01, we're going to head out towards that water at this time.
Okay, red team, you're clear.
At test control, you're go to take off now.
Okay, go ahead, Glenn.
Okay, ready for takeoff, sir.
Okay, here it comes.
Today is a huge day for Talon A. I'm ready to see TA-2 fly and land.
The Talon 8 vehicle is really the first autonomous reusable hypersonic demonstration. And so that's a really important milestone for the nation.
So this is a tremendous
Look at
moment
that damn
because
plane,
now
dude.
we can demonstrate the first reusable hypersonic aircraft since the X-15.
Talon's liquid fueled.
And the aircrew has made their turn to the northeast and is tracking on the flight plan you see on your screen. T0 drop time is 9:18 local Mojave time. That is what we estimate to be the hot pass drop.
Rock 01, green range.
So Rock is up now. We're expecting the launch. Everyone should know their positions. Get to the aircraft, then we'll go ahead and we will get the payloads and get back here and start doing everything we need to do for recovery to get the aircraft back in the trucks.
Control, you are clear to release in accordance with steps 22 through 50.
5, 4, 3. Release.
Yeah, that's
Release,
crazy.
good release.
Right there. Right of us. Wow.
And test control, Talon's at 60,000 feet, Mach
What the heck?
1.15 nominal. Test control, Talon's at 104,000 feet, Mach 5 on condition.
Wait, did they bleep out the max speed? They bleeped out the max speed. Mach 5 point boop, you know?
Test control, Talon is MECO nominal.
Wow.
And test control, you are cleared to descend. Test control, we're 6.5
Dude.
nautical miles out. We're on a nominal approach length. Test control, Talon's 0.3 nautical miles.
Oh, that's sick, man.
Test control, gear has deployed. Test control, Talon's flaring.
That's impressive.
Test control, Talon.
That's
touchdown.
damn impressive, dude. That's
Test control,
cool.
Talon has
That's
landed.
real cool.
That's a huge accomplishment, guys. Congratulations to everyone. That's incredible. It is incredible.
So we land on the ground, we give the customer their payload back. So now they can physically see how it performs.
Talon A2 is not
They're going
just a
right to
successful
ludicrous
ground
speed.
launch, but also a successful outcome for our customers and partners as well.
So I think it will open up opportunities that we might not even envision at this point for how we go from here.
The team is ready, the vehicle's ready. It's important
Yeah.
to get back to a capability that we once had in terms of reusable hypersonic aircraft, but it's also important to advance that capability.
That's
and that's
freaking
what
impressive,
Stratolaunch does.
man. That's freaking impressive, dude. 2 hypersonic subscale test beds. Yeah. Haste. Right? And then, oh, dude, there's Cosmic Girl. Or ex-Cosmic Girl. Stratolaunch bought Virgin Galactic's 747. That's super cool. Oh, Cletus piloted the Goodyear blimp. Hell yeah, brother. We don't want to get claimed on YouTube. All right. You can watch Cletus over on his channel. Why is autoplay enabled? Did not enable autoplay. Wasn't the 225 the biggest plane? Rock has a bigger wingspan, but I don't think it's as long, Knucklehead. There were reposts of a sonic boom over my area in Florida this morning. I was wondering if you know where that Russian satellite came down. The sonic booms over Florida were not the Russian spacecraft, Phil. That's all I know. You will have autoplay. You'll enjoy it. I've never had autoplay enabled on YouTube. Ever. With the newest web player, autoplay is default enabled now. Yeah, I noticed.
You think you're going.
I noticed that. You think it's not going to be there, but it is. It has a couple of days. Yep. Dude, that's really cool. Should put somebody in it. I've decided just now. Wowzers. So they were like, oh, our near peers have stuff. Let me see. So Dongfeng 17s. And what else? What is that, a Sarmat? Hmm. A Sarlacc pit? No, Russian. What was it called? Sarmat, I think, is what it's called. I forget the name of their hypersonic missile thingamajigger. I'm not entirely sure what these things are gonna do, but you know, the truck is kind of cool. I mean, it's a copy of a Scud truck, but whatever. Truck's kind of cool. That is pretty fast. Cool. That's balls 3, guys. I've touched that airplane. That plane's at Pima. So this is the U.S. This is Air Force testing. So this would have been before NASA had balls 8 for their X-15 test. So that's B-52 serial number 3. I've touched that plane. I put my hand right there. On stream, by the way. That's really cool, dude. Sarmat is known for exploding in its own silo. Yeah, dude. Freaking touch that thing. That's weird. You touched what? That plane. This B-52. See this thing? That's serial number 3. They used B-52 serial number 3 was used for the X-15 program in the late 60s. Or late 50s, excuse me. So this is like 58, 59, and 60. Before NASA got balls 8, which is B-52 serial number 8. That's what NASA used for high altitude testing. But before that, they were using serial number 3 for high altitude testing. This is B-52 serial number 3. So balls 3 and balls 8. That's balls 3. I've touched this airplane, which is pretty cool. It's at Pima. That's at the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson. That plane is there, and I've touched it, which is pretty cool. He touched the boat. No. Planes. Dongfeng 17 with hypersonic glide vehicle, DFZV, and UR-100 RS-18 ICBM with Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle. Interesting. I touched, yeah. That was the day I hugged an LR-87 as well. That was a good day. Man, leaving the garage door open there's a lot of bugs that fly in here. But having bugs is not a problem. Bugs? What are bugs? Okay. I'm organizing the rest of the space news, dudes. So yeah, Stratolaunch reused a hypersonic space plane, which is pretty freaking cool, man. That's pretty neat. Touched a few shafts that day. Vast. Vast Long Beach campus, where everything's vast. Oh, drone shot. Oh, drone shot. Don't mind this drone flying by, guys. Just keep having your conversation. If you could just meet me up in conference room A, that'd be great. Does the conference room have a mini bar? It's not stocked, but... Oh, fabrication. Hey, we were doing something like that. Here's your tooling, fabrication and tooling jigs, assembly. This is Orange. Aren't you glad you're here? Did the drone land on the... Okay. You guys want to wire up a satellite? How about TIG welding some pneumatic lines? Huh. Well, he's tacking. He's tack welding. Dude, see this table? Okay, all right. I don't mean to keep... I'll shut up about the car, I swear. See that table? We need a welding table like that. That's a table that you can make jigs on because the table is level and all the holes are perfectly straight up and down, so you can use it to fabricate things. The aerospace industry uses these welding tables all the time. They're everywhere. We need a table like that. Also, yeah, that helmet is sick. Also, he's tack welding. So he's using a TIG welder, but he's just tacking things. If it was actually welding, he'd be feeding a rod with the other hand. But see, homeboy's just chilling. Be prepared to give up a kidney. Frick that, I'll just make it. I'll make it myself. I don't care. Babe, I can make it myself. I don't care. Learn how to fabricate. There's a ring piece. CNC. What type of CNC were they using? Anybody know what machine that is? It looks like a Haas. Yes, like the Formula 1. Actually, I'm not sure. It looks like a CNC to you, boss. Oh, okay. Nice. They're milling aluminum there. That guy's forklift certified. Dude, the mill though. Hold up. Hold up. Dude, you know what? This video is sick, by the way. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this thing's milling more aluminum. That's not a Haas. It doesn't say Haas all over the place. You know, that's a really good point. I had a tour of a factory that made CNC machines. Machines the size of small homes making smaller machines. I love it, dude. You can tell it's a Haas because of the way it is. Oh, yo, I knew I liked Vast. They got some Bridgeports, dude. Look at that. Two digitized Bridgeport mills right there. Oh, I knew I liked these guys. That's awesome. Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right. Here's why this is cool. Those are old Bridgeport mills. The Bridgeport mills they have a very distinct shape. See it compared to the other mill? It's a very distinct shape. Those machines are hot rodded. Those Bridgeport mills all came with manual controls. They never digitized them. Vast has hot rodded these things. See the screens? They hot rodded them. They're digitized. Essentially turning this old mill into a CNC mill, which is super cool. That's hot rodded tooling, hot rodded machining equipment. That's badass, dude. That's really, really cool. That's awesome. What else they got chilling? I saw the Bridgeports right away. I'm like, I would know those from a mile away. No. Might still be manual. DRO is a common add-on nowadays. Yeah. There's also Haas stuff. So this is a clean room environment because they're doing testing in here. Note the wood freaking table. That's antenna testing. What is that thing? I don't know what that thing was. That's not wood? Certainly looked like it. Here, let me back it up. You sure about that? It could be copper or anodized aluminum. It's possible. Looks pretty wood colored to me. The top of the table is definitely metal. It's got sheet on it. We used copper cladding on top. So what is that copper cladding attached to? Aerospace grade wood. Okay. To a table. Okay, you're not wrong, but I want to know what the heck this thing is. Gin Centro Technica RT 1500. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that thing before. I want to see this again. Is that an oil pump? Somebody's pumping some oil. Vibration testing? Maybe a tomograph? Simulate launch vibrations. Oh, okay. Good call. You got it, builder. Let's see this again. This is pretty cool. Slip table. Cool. This place is pretty legit, man. The Asta's pretty cool. They make space station modules, guys. These guys are working on tooling. Dude, look at that welding table. Look at that freaking welding. That's a welding table. So these guys, that dude is using the table to work on a ring right there. Right? The rings would, they can. I mean, it really depends. They can go on the seams right here. It's over 20K. Yeah, I know, man. I got expensive hobbies. Oh, dude. Look at the Miller purging arm. So that right there is if you need to back purge something that you're welding, like a TIG weld, and you could basically, it's like a vacuum cleaner almost. So you weld with that thing right over you, so it creates a vacuum, so your welds come out really nice. I know that Miller up there is expensive. He's got a spot welder right there. What is that guy doing? He's grinding something down. Yeah, he's just probably grinding down a weld. Look at that. It's all manual clamps. That's badass, dude. That's really cool. There's some really nice machine work going on here. Now, this guy looks like he has a jig. This is a jig for something, but I don't know what it's for. He's making something on that jig. But I mean, if I had to guess, maybe it's probably for making rings and bulkheads. And see, they have this shielding up here because they're cutting and welding a lot here. See, there's the gas tank. The welder's underneath the sawhorse right there. Could be a frame jig. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, you're right, Aqualex. This might be tooling fabrication. So they're making the jigs that they need to fabricate the station module. Yeah, framing the aerospace meeting. Yeah, dude. See, I want to do that. I want to do it, but we don't have the cash to do it. But I want to do that. That's what I want to make. I want to make stuff like that for the car. And then maybe for rockets someday. So, nope. I didn't click over there. What else we got? saw something else over here. There's a telehandler right there. That's a big metal brake right there. Wow, that's a big metal brake. Look at all the inert gas that they have. They do a lot of welding. No, frame. Could be that, but it looked like it was made out of steel, Aqualex, which is why I was thinking it might be tooling. Those are cradles. Those are processing stools, basically. They're not called processing stools, but that holds the space station module horizontally. Actually, that's a man lift. You're a man lift. Got him. There's a circumferential stir welder right here. Nothing is on the jig, though. It's basically a gigantic lathe, and the stir welder can move up and down right there, and they'll spin the module, and it'll weld it all the way around. And those other pieces will hold it in place. This is hull fabrication in here. Note that it's sealed off. It's a clean room environment. Yeah, I see the rollers down there, Bob. It's so they can rotate the module. It probably rotates it on this gigantic freaking lathe right there. And that once again, that right there is called a circumferential stir welder. So this whole thing turns it like a rotisserie chicken, and the welder's at one side. It, gets to where it's flush, and then they'll just turn the thing, turn on the stir, and just rotate it at 360 degrees. Smart. It's a good way to do that. That's how most space station modules are made, dudes. Probably be called a rotary table. Yeah. Dude landed the drone on the freaking cart. That lady is making wire harnesses, it looks like. This is assembly. How'd you like to have that for your job? That guy's working on some kind of satellite. See the solar panels? That's pretty freaking cool, man. I think most of these stitch shots are Steadicam. That's a gyro? Maybe that's a CMG at the front, yeah. You sure? It should be the Haven 1 test set. Yeah, Black Eagle, that's what I'm thinking. Is that the Haven 1 that will have people in it? I don't think so, Trey. I think that one that you saw in the main tooling area was a mock-up. Oh, dude, that table is freaking beast. I need more of those. See those? See those clamps? We need that. I need to invest more. Turns out getting into metal fabrication in your shop, in your backyard, gets a little expensive. But it's alright. That's milling something out of aluminum. That's just storage. What do we got over here? So these are Haas. I want to say they're a 5-axis mill, but that could be a 3. I think that's a 3-axis CNC. Yeah, those are 3-axis, I'm pretty sure. Dude, they got a lot of these machines lined up. There's the Bridgeport. 2 freaking Bridgeports, man. So cool. That's my favorite part of this thus far. They got a really nice lathe over there, but I don't know what it is. So this is RF testing, radio testing. They're testing out all their different antennas in here. And that's the jiggly machine. I have a cheap pile of big ones. Cheap ones work as well as the name brand. Yeah, I'll go to Harbor Freight and just buy a ton of them, Bill. Yeah. The Vast thread from today. So that's the Vast module, and I bet you can't guess how people are going to get there. So this thread is, what is this? Spaceflight Now? What are we up to here? A year from now, in May of 2026, Vast aims to launch its Haven 1 space station, a key step as it develops the Haven 2 module. It's bid to succeed the ISS in low Earth orbit. We spoke with Max Hout and Drew Feustel at the 40th Space Symposium inside the Haven 1 experience about the work completed and what lies ahead. Here's the full video in which Vast CEO walks us through Haven 1 and discusses how its space station developed over the past 2 years and the next year leading up to the planned launch in May of 2026. Early coordination with SpaceX, which will launch Haven 1 on a Falcon 9 and send the crew to the commercial space station via its Dragon spacecraft, was crucial.
When they are not working and performing science, are our 10 mid-deck locker equivalent. And you can see here we have our 2 original partners. One is Yuri in Europe, providing a mid-deck locker payload. The other one is Redwire in the United States, providing their pillbox. This is actually, some of these have actually already been on the ISS. But in this, Redwire work with their customers on protein growth experiment. These pillbox go up on Dragon, and then the crew insert them in the mechanism here. The 2-week mission occur, and then they take them back down, fully processed on the Dragon back to Earth. And then this week, you also have the control app. So this is actually the app we will have on Haven 1, an early version, where you have the alert, the data. You can control the temperature, you can control the lights. You can also see all the cameras we have around as a crew, and we have one.
No problem, can't see me.
So now,
dude, can I just say it's really funny to me that behind these really nice cabinets they just have ISS racks. Those are, see this? That's an ISS standard rack size. See how it's kind of octagonal, like it has curved ends? Yeah, those are ISS racks. I think that, I'm sorry, that's really funny to me.
Over there, basically. So now, this is the new announcement from today, where we've announced our next 3 payload partner for Haven 1. The top one you can see here doing flower growth is Interstellar from France. The second one is Exobiosphere, doing medical processing in well and high throughput from Luxembourg. And the third one is a company called JAMS in Japan, which is the actual main gateway to the ISS via Japan. They are partners or integrated with JAXA, the Japanese Space Agency, and they would also be putting a mid-deck locker on Haven 1.
Time out. You may have noticed that Hout only pointed out 5 customers with spots filled on these mid-deck lockers. The Haven 1 has room for up to 10 single mid-deck locker equivalent or MLE payload slots. In a graphic published in mid-April, Vast noted that 4 of the MLE spaces are reserved for partners related to the crew flying on board the Haven 1. That leaves just 1 MLE unspoken for. The payload rack also has the ability to accommodate double MLEs, which will receive double the accommodations of a single MLE payload.
That's Will Robinson Smith talking.
Customers can either opt to have their payloads launch when the Haven 1 does, or to have new payloads fly up on a future Crew Dragon mission. Here's what Hout had to say about how these first 5 were chosen. Time in.
It's a combination of, we think they are important research and science that are good for Vast and good for the customers that will be flying on Vast. It's also the credibility of the company. Our strategy is to work with as many people that have existing heritage on the ISS. Redwire is a clear example of that.
Yeah.
And then it's a negotiation and agreeing to the pricing and so on, which we did, and signing a contract. So.
Cool. Those mid-deck locker doors seem like a waste of mass to you. That's what I'm saying. They just have the ISS racks, but it is a commercial space station. You got to make it look nice, dude. Making it look nice is part of it. I don't know if VAS has the contract for an ISS successor, but yeah, they're definitely making progress between what we saw with their factory there and what Max just said a second ago. Good stuff. All right, let's keep going. This next bit is coming from Spaceflight Now again. So Joel Kearns, the Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration, NASA Science Mission Directorate, shared an updated outlook at the Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program today at the Lunar Surface Science Workshop. Still on deck in 2025, Blue Origin Blue Moon Mark 1, pretty cool, an Astrobotic Griffin. Yep, there we go. The ISS is Black Mesa, and this is Aperture. I'm disappointed that after the ISS, we should have a spinning gravity station. In parentheses, we never will. Don't be so sure, man. If the low Earth orbit economy goes the way, like, for instance, the way that, like, Jared Isaacman, if he, if he gets confirmed, if it goes his way, yeah, you might, I wouldn't say that, it might happen. A new NASA deputy administrator has been announced today. Who is it, Psychove? Hold on, I'll just Google it. Janet Petro. No? Actually, no. Janet Petro was the interim administrator. So this is from NASA a couple hours ago. VAS addressed that with the NSF tour. After like 5 or 6 modules are connected, they will spin them. Cool. NASA statement on nomination of Matt Anderson for Deputy Administrator. Acting Administrator Janet Petro issued the following statement regarding the nomination by the President of Matt Anderson Wednesday to serve as the agency's Deputy Administrator. As a retired Air Force colonel and executive of the Space Force Association, Matt Anderson brings extensive knowledge of space operations, aeronautics expertise, and industry expertise. If confirmed, he would join NASA's leadership at a time when partnerships and sharpened focus on mission are essential to our continued success. Along with the President's nominee to lead NASA, Jared Isaacman, he will strengthen collaboration across sectors and help NASA advance exploration, serve the American people, and deliver results for the benefit of all. Okay. Throughout his 24-year tenure in the Air Force, Anderson culminated his career at the U.S. Transportation Throughout his over 24-year tenure in the Air Force, Anderson culminated his career as the U.S. Transportation Command Senior Liaison Officer to North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, U.S. Northern Command, NORTHCOM, and U.S. Space Command, SPACECOM. He retired as a colonel on October 1st, 2021. He's currently a vice president and Space and Air Force client executive at CACI. He also serves as the chief growth officer at the Space Force Association. An alumni of the U.S. Air Force, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs, Anderson holds degrees in biology, aeronautical science, and leadership and counseling. In 2024, he was named by the Washington Exec as one of their top space executives to watch. Really, Phil? What the heck is CACI, to be honest with you? I'm not familiar. Oh, okay. Cool, man. That's neat. Neato burrito. I don't know too much about this dude, to be honest with you. Transcom, though. Anderson culminated his career as the Transport Command Senior Liaison Officer to NORAD, Northcom, and Spacecom. Interesting. Okay, the reason... All right. Here's the reason why that's interesting. United States Transportation Command has been very interested in Starship. Transcom wants to use Starship to be able to drop supplies anywhere on the planet within minutes. So they're very interested in Starship dropping care packages. Like launching a Starship, having it re-enter and land, like at a forward Air Force base or something, right? And then having it drop off supplies. Basically using Starship like an ODST. Transcom has been super interested in that over the last couple of years, which is interesting that he was the senior liaison at Transcom to NORAD and Northcom, which is very curious. Some people are flagging that he was there and actively pushed for SpaceX to get a rocket cargo contract, which they did. Can those care packages be Marines too? I'm not going to sit here and say a Devil Dog wouldn't want to launch on one of those things and do an ODST style drop, because I'd like to think that I like eating crayons just as much as the next Devil Dog. Now, I'm not one myself, but also crayons are tasty, and I don't care who knows. All right, I'd do that. Sure, that would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Dropping on a Starship, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. I'd do that. I'm a jarhead. I'll do it. I'll go to the loony bin too with you, bro. I don't give a frick. Let's go. Strap me in. Let's friggin' do this, baby. Would it take off again, or would it be stuck there? Mutter, that's the real question. We never really heard what happens to the Starship after the fact. You know what I mean? Maybe you put it on a boat or something with a breakover, put it on a USNS ship, a roll on, roll off, and just roll it back to the States or something. I'm not Dr. Gnome. I've never served, ever. I'm just a civilian. But I like things that Marines like. I've noticed that, including crayons. I'll eat a crayon. I don't care. Let's go. Would it fit in a C5? No, I don't think so. It might fit on top of a C5 though. That would be ridiculous, but I don't. We wouldn't do that. You'd probably go on a roll on, roll off ship. I mean, the Nimitz is getting up there. Would it fit in a Super Guppy? No. Super Guppy's has a 7 meter wide at its widest. It's 7 meter wide payload bay. Naughty, don't tempt them. Bro, crayons, I don't care. Grape is my favorite. I mean, blue. Piggyback on top of 747. I've heard this story before. Back to the Future meet. I've seen this. This is the one where Ralph dresses up as a man from space. What do you mean you've seen this? It's brand new. I saw it on a rerun. What's a rerun? You'll find out. Oh, nice, Django. There you go. Let's go. Good for you. Want to see something sus? Check the picture. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Like, Transcom has been very interested in Starship, so what I'm trying to tell you is that guy seems to get it. Matt seems to understand what's going on and really understand commercial markets. Not so sure if that'd be good for NASA, but guy does is he's space akin, which is not the worst. Check the picture down there. Yeah, that. Yeah, this. What is that? What is that? What is this? What is this thing? What is that? What's going on over here? Something for you. Oh, excellent. Meal treat. What are those others? Yeah, what is this? What is happening in this picture? Keep in mind, that's an old version of Super Heavy and Starship. It still has like the tapered bottom. A Dell PC? Nah, it might be a PS5, dude. What? Wait. What the hell is that? What is this? What's that? What's that thing? What is that? What is that? What is that supposed to be? Play Fortunate Son. Yeah. Well, when you know, Baron, when the trees start talking like this, you know that you are in for a lot of trouble when the trees start talking like this, you know, like the trees start stuttering, you got a big problem. Speaking of starships on top of C5s, did you see the new Lego? I have. Yeah, shuttle with 747. Care packages, yeah. When, you know, when the trees, you know, they start stuttering. It's aid. That's what they're sending. They're sending aid. The program you talked about. Yes, we've seen the Transcom. We know about the Transcom. Know about the dang Transcom, man. Unintentional walking impression. It's supposed to be Elon, but I can't make my voice sound like that guy for some reason. I never could. When the trees start sounding like the rocket engines, then you're gonna have a bad day. The days are gonna be long when you have to deal with a bunch of devil dogs coming out of this steel tube in the middle of the jungle. You're gonna have a bad day. It's just you're gonna be there, and then you're not gonna be there after that. Was that good? What if instead of landing a whole starship from point to point, Starship deploys a few capsules, then that re-enter and land? The Russians tried doing that, bozo, in the 80s with Buran. Only the care packages were nukes. Anyway, that's very interesting that they she put that guy in there. The PDF I sent you was the $200 million contract from Transcom to access and monitor the SpaceX Starship program. How's your Dale Gribble? It's pretty good. You know what Ford stands for, Goltech? Fix it again, Tony. Chat is broken on Ohm. Interesting. That's Fiat, Dale, damn it. Interesting. So here's the upcoming Clips missions here. Let's see what we got. Astrobotic. That didn't land. Peregrine didn't get close. Maricrisium, that's Blue Ghost. That one landed. Malapert A, that's IM1. That landed on its... That landed on its side. Mons Mouton IM2. That landed on its side. There's IM3 right there. Astrobotic. That's the Griffin lander, I think. 2025. Schrodinger's Basin. Draper, CP12 in 2026. Interesting. Delivery site. South Pole. Provider, to be determined. CS6. Okay, in 2028. There's the Gruthisen domes from Firefly. That's Blue Ghost. Another Blue Ghost. Firefly is another Blue Ghost over there. Is 3 and 4. I don't know what that means, by the guy. Intuitive Machines is 0 for 2 right now. Let's say 1 for 2, because 2 tip over landings could equal 1 landing. What is this? These are all the commercial lunar payload services missions out to 2029, as far as I can tell. Was Astrobotic the one that leaked fuel? Yeah. They had a fuel leak on the way up. At this point, why don't they just put solar panels and antennas on the side? That way, when it falls over again, it'll still work. The solar panels are on the side, geek. It has 2 solar panels on the sides. The problem is, the way it's landed, the solar panels are facing the ground both times. Like, I feel bad. I really like Intuitive Machines. I like Steve Altimus, the guy that runs that company. That guy's cool. You can just make it a sphere. Ah, yes, the Soviet solution. Good call. Okay. What do we got here? Viper news? Oh, boy. Following an evaluation of partnership proposals for Viper, NASA has decided to explore alternative approaches to deliver its water-seeking robot to the lunar surface. Oh. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Oh, nice. Okay. Wait a minute. What's this next part say? We appreciate the efforts of those who've submitted proposals, and we look forward to accomplishing the volatile science with Viper as we continue our Moon to Mars exploration efforts. Wait a minute. That's worded funny. Hold on. Following an evaluation of partnership proposals to land Viper on the lunar surface, NASA is instead opting to explore alternative approaches to deliver Viper to the moon. NASA announced on Wednesday it's canceling the Viper solicitation, which sought opportunities to send Viper to the moon at no cost to the government. Yeah, they worded that. They worded that funny. No, this is not good news. Yeah, that's just what, NASA wants to, foster a commercial launch environment. Also NASA. That's what we live for, just launching stuff for free. It's great. That's why they only want to use it to move supplies, geese, and it'll move to an air base. It'll land probably at an air base or something, or probably near an aircraft carrier or whatever on a drone ship. Yeah, they're not landing starships in the combat zone. Seriously, shoot the starship. Starship lands. Okay, shoot it. And then you have a methane fuel leak. That fuel hits the hot Raptor engines that are really, really toasty from landing, and SN4 happens. Bye-bye. Yeah, no, they're not landing those in combat zones. Don't worry about that. We appreciate the efforts of those who propose. All right. What do you want? We look forward to accomplishing volatile science with hyperspeed. NASA has been investigating how to get the rover to the moon after the project was canceled in 2024. Oh, I don't know. Maybe send it on the stupid freaking probe that you already paid for? Oh, geez. That would be fun. That's a good idea. How about you land it on Griffin? Because this one right here, see this one? See this guy right here? That one, Astrobotic 2025. That's the Griffin lander. The Griffin lander is flat topped. You know why it's flat topped? Because Viper's supposed to be on top of it. But some idiot at NASA decided we're not doing that. Now we're paying for an investigation on how to do it when we decided we didn't want to do it. Now we're figuring out how to do it. Just I thought this was good news. It's not good news. But at least NASA is admitting that, let's find another way to launch it where we don't pay anybody any money to launch it way. At least they figured out that way doesn't work. Good. Great. Good. I get so triggered by that, don't I? That damn probe pisses me off so much. It's not that the probe is like that big of a mission. It's just this is very emblematic of like how NASA is. How NASA has been for like the last 25 freaking years. We're gonna put a volatile rover on the moon, and we're gonna pay commercial providers to launch it, right, to save us some money. Never mind. Let's cancel it. Never mind. Let's cancel it. The Astrobotics lander, the Peregrine lander didn't make it, so we're not going to put our $400 million lander probe rover, on a lander because we're not sure if it's going to make it. Even though we have the entire point of the CLIPS program is low risk, right? So we're not going to do that. So now we got to figure out another way to do it. Hey, anybody want to launch it for free? No, nobody does? All right, whatever. We'll just, we spent $400 million on this damn probe. Let's just keep it in storage. Let's just keep it in storage. We'll figure out what we want to do with it later. Let's even make a study on how we're going to figure out what to do with it later. Yes, and let's pay millions of dollars for that study. That is emblematic of how NASA operates, and that's unacceptable. That's why it makes me so angry. Let's build this probe. No, it's too expensive. Never mind. No, it might not get to the moon. Never mind. Let's put it in storage. Putting it in storage is the best thing for it. Gee, wonder why NASA may get its funding slashed. Yeah, it's stuff like this that's giving people that don't like NASA fodder to defund NASA. All right, that stuff like this is the reason why this is happening. Mars sample return. Let's spend millions of dollars on how to figure out how to do it. No. We won't actually do it. We're just going to figure out a good pathway to do it. Let's spend millions of dollars on that instead of spending millions of dollars on actually doing it. You think that's hyperbole on my part, but that's what happened to Mars Sample Return. They canceled Mars Sample Return because they thought they didn't fund it right, so it ended up having ridiculous cost overruns because they didn't fund it right. And the program got so far behind schedule that they figured out that it would... It got so far behind schedule that the Mars sample returns would actually come... We would get stuff back from Mars before, like, after we sent people to Mars. The program got so far behind schedule because of that. The reason why the program got so ridiculously far behind schedule is because NASA's trying to return something from the surface of the moon.
So behind this wall, that when they are not working,
and that requires landing a launch vehicle on the moon and sending it back.
Equivalent.
Right? Or on Mars and sending it back, right? So you need to be able to have a heavy lander for the moon, which NASA does not have.
Revue in the United States.
So they designed the entire program around an architecture that doesn't exist.
Been, on the ISS.
And then underfunded it on top of that.
Revue work
audio is playing.
Protein growth experiment. These pill.
The Max Hout vid just decided to unpause itself without me even being on the page. I was on this page and it just randomly unpaused a video that I had on another tab. I mean, I'd love to hear from Max more, but we've already watched that video. I don't know. Whatever. This is... the Viper mission is very emblematic of how NASA operates, which is just useless. Useless. Like, I'll call it how I see it. You're going to spend $400 million, and you're not going to spend an extra $20 million because you're worried about budget overruns on this stupid probe. So it's better off. The best place for it is in a closet. And you wonder why the Science Mission Directorate wants to get, is in the budget proposal, is proposed to get axed. It's because of crap like this. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. People playing games with NASA... Right? This is what happens, dudes. People play games with NASA. You know, we're not going to we're going to cancel this program because we don't like it. We don't like it. It's not in the budget. We don't have, and then that pisses somebody off, right? And then they come back spiteful, and then the entire program gets shot. Dude, you'd be surprised how many times this has happened with NASA. Nixon got rid of the Apollo program after it was finished because he didn't like Kennedy. He didn't like that it was Kennedy's program, so he wanted his own program. All right? Obama didn't like Bush's program because that was, that's the old thing. We're going to do new things. So let's pull the rug out of the entire program because we need to make a new trail. We need to blaze a new trail. So get rid of all that. Get rid of the Constellation program. We don't need any of that. It's, we didn't fund it right for 2 years, but now it's underperforming. So we should just cancel it entirely. This stuff happens. People play football with NASA and the whirlwind gets reaped after if you do stuff like this. It happens all the time. It's happened all the time throughout NASA's history. And here we go. Here we go. It's going to happen again. You don't play political football with NASA. That's a really bad idea. NASA gets the shaft every time someone does that. Every time without question. I can think of multiple more instances if people want to know. And now look, you have these programs that are pissing away money. Viper, Mars Sample Return, big high profile programs that carry a pretty big budget, right? I wonder why they want to get canceled. And that's what I'm saying, Erudite. Part of the reason why that's happening is because they gave him fodder to do it. And you know what, man? Like, he's not even that wrong. This is a waste of time. What are you doing? Just put it on the vehicle and launch it. Don't sit there and make a new study or a new committee that's going to cost us hundreds of millions of dollars to figure out how to do it. You already know how to do it. You know how you do it? Put it on the stupid lander that was supposed to deliver it in the frigging first place. That is the cheapest solution and the most expedient. Why are we not doing this? Doesn't know anything about NASA. This is some background henchman. Sure. Whatever. Call it whatever you want. Obama didn't know anything about the space program either, and look where that got us. It got us with SLS. So, good call. You see what I'm talking about, dudes? Playing political football like this with NASA, it just all that does is give NASA just gets the shaft. How long until NASA gets doged? That's what I'm saying. You know, you're giving them fodder because they're looking around for waste, and here's something where NASA concluded that the best thing for this $400 million probe is to put it in a closet somewhere. They did the same thing with Chandra. Chandra was an X-ray observatory, and they just decided, well, it's old. Let's get rid of it. We don't need that. The most cost-efficient way is just get rid of it. We just got rid of Chandra. You just defunded it. All right, cool, sweet, good, great, grand. Mars sample return. They figured out that the most cost-effective way was to cancel the program and then start a new program that's not about going and getting samples from Mars, but thinking about how you're going to go and get samples from Mars. This is what I'm talking about, dudes. I've been saying this for a long time, that this isn't going to fly. It's unacceptable behavior. And now NASA is reaping the fruits of that labor. Great. Good. Lovely. Hope the commercial market can pick up for it, because how about we just put it on the thing that it was supposed to go on? That would have been really good. That would have been a really good idea. And it all started because some bonehead that canceled Viper because they didn't like it. And don't give me that crap that they canceled it because it went over budget, EJ. They canceled it because it went over budget. Every project has budget constraints. Every budget has budget, that's the thing for every project. That's just standard systems engineering. That's just standard comptrolling. That happens all the time. Explain James Webb then. James Webb went $19 billion over budget and 20 years past its projected launch date. So clearly there's selective enforcement of NASA's budget law here. So don't say that it's not playing games. It's absolutely somebody's playing games. Somebody got rid of Viper because they didn't like it. I thought you got the memo of good ideas equals bad ideas. At this point, just cancel MSR and just send people there. It's wasting money for NASA. That's exactly what was in Trump's budget proposal, Trey. What is maddening is that the NASA budget is really an investment, not a cost. Returns of $7 to $14 per dollar spent on economic activity. Then factor in $60 billion a year and other tangible losses like brain drain or missed opportunities. It's really like a $1 trillion loss of benefits over 2 decades. You know, and Mason, that's why I've always said, dude, you know, people say, oh, this isn't sustainable. This project isn't expensive. Constellation would have been too expensive. Constellation would have been too expensive. Oh, it would have been too expensive. You know, having the shuttle build out, an interplanetary space, that would have been too expensive. It would have been too expensive. SLS is too expensive. Oh, it's too expensive. Yeah. Compared to what? Compared to what? What? The other moon rocket? Are you putting a price on our national pride? To go back to the moon? To tie up some loose ends that the Apollo program left open? What is it? What is it too expensive compared to? That's bull crap. That's bull crap, and we've been conditioned over the last like 40 years to believe like that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, okay. Yep. We can put a price on scientific exploration. Yep, we can. No, you can't. No, you can't. The whole point is for NASA to advance scientific exploration in the applications of aerospace and aeronautics. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And we apparently have put a price on new scientific understanding. It's not okay. It's not okay. Yeah, you put a price on the future. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's not good, man. Just spend the money. You'll get the return on investment. Nobody seems to understand that. Unless I'm completely missing something, Mason. I don't get it. Fund a freaking Apollo program. Get everybody on board, just like James Webb did. Is this really that difficult to do? I refuse to believe that it is. I don't think it's that difficult to do. I just don't think people care. I think that's the real thing. I don't think people care. Unless their ROI comes in under 4 years, it's not an ROI. Explain SLS then, which has spanned 4 presidential administrations at this point, John. Explain that one. How does that work? Inertia. That's it? That's entirely contradictory to what you just said. That's what I mean, guys. NASA's been getting the shaft. They've been getting the shaft, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And now they're getting even more of a shaft. They want to gut it. I don't think that budget proposal is going to happen for what it's worth. NASA gets the shaft all the freaking time, dude. And we've been conditioned to believe, like, that's just the way it is. That's how it's got to be. I understand that. The budget cuts are tight. Yeah, the budget cuts. Dude, what better thing could we be spending it? Man, that's a bad question to ask. That'll devolve into that kind of discussion. I don't want to have that kind of discussion. Point is, this, like, what do you mean it's too expensive? NASA gets $23 billion a year. What do you mean it's too expensive? Like, how did this happen? Ever since this shenanigans with Viper, I threw in the towel. I used to give NASA the benefit of the doubt. Now I'm entirely convinced that NASA's headquarters has no idea what they're doing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bark up Bill Nelson's tree because he seems like a really nice guy, but do you have any idea what's going on here, or are you just there to smile and look pretty? Like, yeah, you know what, Ethereal, it's crazy because the military's getting their budgets slashed too. It's just across the board. It's crazy, man. He's there to spread the pudding. That's been going on for multiple generations. And you won't like where it's really coming from. I know where it's... Don't insult my intelligence, you prick. I get it. I understand. What I'm saying is that it's not okay. And we shouldn't be okay with this. Starbase is in the background, yeah. Because I gotta have that construction noise going on. I don't know, weather guy. I think entropy has gotten to us over the last 50 years. In this country. I really do. I think entropy is the biggest thing. Man, well, maybe not 50. I'd say the last 30. Basically since the end of the Cold War. Entropy is set in. Can you explain the door opening from the inside on the Blue flight? Correct. Blue Origin likes to put on a show. They like to put on a show. That's... Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that the tech isn't good. They just like to put on a show. And I can't figure out for the life of me why they like doing that. But... Feedback from fellow engineers all say that NASA's CLIPS program was underfunded, and Viper exceeding its budget at risk affecting missions like IM-3 and IM-4. The decision to cancel Viper, from what I gather, stemmed from not from congressional pressure, but from lobbying by other CLIPS companies concerned about payment delays. Yeah, Sola Sunder, I think that might be what's going on. Affecting missions like IM-3 and IM-4. So push them back. Push them back. What, is the money not going to be there? Griffin Mission 1 will still be flown as a flight demonstration of the lander and engines with launch net fall 2025. The other companies and CLIPS are already tight on money, so pushing payment schedule would affect them. Baron, you know what, man? I'm trying. What you're saying makes sense, and I'm really gonna try not to sound like a complete jackass here. So freaking what? So freaking what? You have a mission manifest. Launch the damn manifest. Some missions may end up being more expensive. You know how you learn from that mistake? You launch it, find an all-told cost, and then make it cheaper later. What we did was get rid of something that's pretty much working over stuff that might be working soon. That doesn't even have the same capability. That's stupid. If it has to bump, it has to bump. All right? I'm sorry. Like, you know, people are going to think I'm a jerk for saying that. The probe is freaking finished. It's finished. It's finished. It's done. We need a competition or someone to push us to do better. No, we don't, Jared. We don't. We don't. Maybe we should manifest our destiny in the stars. Self-determination is all we need. This country was founded on that. That's good enough. There you go, spoiled for sure. Frick those other companies. How about you have your lander not tip over next time? Oh wait, we launched. So look, like, you know, we were worried about schedule overlap for Viper. They launched, you know, gave the money to Intuitive Machines. And don't get me wrong, I like Intuitive Machines. Those guys are cool. Their second rover also, their second lander failed. It tipped over again. So was it really a good use of money? Kennedy said in his speech, man in his quest for knowledge should not be deterred. We don't need a reason. A reason helps. We don't need a reason to go explore the stars. We should just do it. What the hell's that guy doing? That's right, Hidgy. That's what I mean, dude, we could... Like, it's not even... You know, like NASA doesn't even need that much fucking more money. You can run a space program on $23 billion a year. You can run a damn good space program for that amount of money. You know? The thing about Eclipse, though, whether it was the right way forward or not, is at least they were doing something. Yeah, Toothless, I won't disagree. I think the Eclipse program was not the stupidest idea. My thing with the Eclipse program is that, well, my gripe with the Eclipse program, and this is easy for me to say in hindsight, but the gripe with that program is that there's no market. There's no market here. NASA is your only customer for sending stuff to the moon. That's it. They basically took the Surveyor program that JPL did in the 60s and commercialized it. That's great. That's good. What's the return on investment if NASA didn't do the Eclipse program? Would anybody be sending anything to the moon? Why not? Because there's no market for it. Commercializing stuff with NASA is not a bad idea, but there has to be a good reason. There has to be some reason to go. Now, if NASA, I don't know, had a rocket that actually was capable of landing something on the surface of the moon and built a moon base, then these science missions, dropping rovers, dropping supplies onto the surface of the moon, then these commercial lunar payload services contracts become a lot more useful. That could open up the door to commercial outposts on the moon. Right now, there's no reason to open up commercial outposts on the moon, except right now, like maybe NASA wants to do it in the future. Do you see what I mean? The only reason why commercial crew worked is because the ISS existed. And the ISS required a monumental investment to do it, to get it done. And a space shuttle. But you get what I'm trying to say. That's my gripe with Eclipse. There's no point. There's no point. Seriously, there isn't a point to commercialize lunar services. The only reason why they did that is it was a shortcut because NASA couldn't afford to, for some reason they couldn't afford to do it themselves. The incessant drive to commercialize every single part of our space program will be our undoing in the long run. That is inherently missing the problem with NASA. The problem with NASA is that no one knows how to run NASA. That's the problem. Shuttle mention, yeah. How many boxes have I ticked on the EJ Rant bingo card? Yeah, even the ISS, it was a cop-out. Yeah, the ISS was a consolation prize because they canceled Space Station Freedom because, we don't have the budget to do that. And they gave us the ISS, so you got to work with the Russians, their rocket engineers don't wind up in adversarial hands. Yeah. How that ended real well, didn't it? That ended real well. Who are we trying to race to the moon again right now? Oh, China. Yeah, where's their rocket tech derived from? Yeah, that was a real good idea. China. Sorry, guys. I want to be very clear. It sounds like I'm being very cynical about this. I'm not being cynical. I'm saying what needs to be said. Because my optimism will not be deterred. I will not be deterred by this nonsense. You know? Because it is nonsense. This is ridiculous. Do you think the shuttle was the leading edge on this sword NASA is falling on? Seems like everything blows since that thing started. Canceling Apollo. Goalie, canceling Apollo had repercussions that we are still paying for. An aftershock of canceling Apollo was canceling Constellation. Those are the single two stupidest things that NASA has ever done, ever. Or a politician associated with NASA. Yeah. Second stupidest thing was getting rid of Constellation. The stupidest thing was getting rid of Apollo by a long shot. If NASA just kept going with Apollo and kept mass producing Saturn V's, they would have eventually opened up commercial markets to the moon because they would have built a base on the moon. And that opens up commercial contractors in the 70s and the 80s to resupply said base. So you would have ended up getting something like SpaceX or someone like SpaceX. And then NASA would have gone and opened up a market for Martian stuff and Venusian stuff because that's where they were going to go. Yeah, spoiled. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, John, perhaps. For all mankind timeline. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Even after all this time, you know, even when I'm neck deep and working on my car and stuff, I still care a lot about the space program. And for a long time, I kind of walked on eggshells when it came to this stuff because I wasn't absolutely sure that I knew what was going on. I know what's going on here. What's going on is that the people that are pulling purse strings don't care. Good, just keep commercializing stuff. You want Way in Yutani? There you go. That's how that happens. You want Blade Runner? Stuff like that? Well, Alien? Okay. You want The Expanse? That's how you, because that's how you get The Expanse. Well, maybe not necessarily The Expanse, but you get the idea. Hell yeah. NASA goes on about commercializing space, yet NASA is so mismanaged, no one is ever going to invest in commercializing space. Yeah, Geeson, NASA can't generate these crazy markets without doing it themselves. I.e., NASA had to launch people into low Earth orbit with a reusable transportation system to build a space station up there to foster the commercial, to foster commercial space stations. NASA has to do it first. That's what I mean about parity. Geeson, you've heard me rant about this many times. You've heard me say, like, NASA needs to be able to do everything that SpaceX can do. I.e., if NASA can put somebody on the moon, if SpaceX can put somebody on the surface of the moon without any NASA stuff, NASA should be able to do the same. Because if not, you're not generating any commercial market. The only solace that we have here is that SpaceX is absolutely hell-bent on growing the commercial, on going to Mars, which has inadvertently caused a ripple effect to grow the commercial market. Basically, SpaceX is doing NASA's job for them, that's fine. I really don't have a problem with that. But NASA needs to do NASA's job. We've been sidestepping the real problem for a long time. The real problem is that I'm not entirely convinced that anybody that's worked at NASA over the last 20 years in the headquarters has any idea what they're doing. Maybe except for Mike Griffin. Mike Griffin knows what he was doing. Even Jimmy B Bridenstine was trying to fix things, but I don't think he understood how fricked everything was. I mean, he tried and he did a good job, to be honest with you. Yeah, there you go, Rarest. Even better, Saturn Shuttle and Saturn V program combined would have been insane. Trey, I love the Space Shuttle. The Space Shuttle is my all-time favorite spacecraft. It is still unmatched to this day in capability and awesomeness. Frick that thing. If I have to choose between the Saturn V and the Space Shuttle, give me the damn Saturn V. I'll take the LEM, I'll take the CSM. We'd be on Pluto by now. But the Space Shuttle is pretty damn good. Jim was trying to bail the water out of the Titanic as it was going down. Yep. Do you think the U.S. government will let a commercial company outgrow them? If SpaceX has assured access to the moon and Mars, will the U.S. government bend over and let them keep full control, or will the U.S. government nationalize them? I don't think they'd nationalize them, Baron. But I personally think we shouldn't even allow it to get to that point. NASA needs to have their own in-house program, no matter the cost. I'm sorry, guys, it might be expensive, but they need to. That's the best, most sustainable way forward, because we've seen the fruits of a single government versus government like environment, and how sustainable that actually is. You know, when we space raced the Soviets, right? And then we won. That's the thing. We raced them and we won. And then there was no need for it anymore. So some Some idiotic politician decided, oh, we don't need this anymore. We don't need to do this anymore. We don't need to do it anymore. We won. We don't need to do it. Okay? They literally, we Nico Rosberg the damn Apollo program, and they were like, yeah, okay, we're good. I won a championship. I'm out. When we need to be Lewis Hamiltoning it. Does that make sense? Formula One references? Do you understand what I'm saying? How far behind do you think SpaceX is from surpassing NASA? Hiji, 2028, 2029 is my guess. It does make sense? All right, cool. So move to Ferrari? No. That's what they've been doing. Seems more like Flavio at the moment. Oh, God. Dude, he got a job at Alpine. Flavio Briatore is the team principal of Alpine. What the actual frick is going on over there? What are you doing, Formula One? Stop it. You are drunk. Go away. What is actually going on? Like, not to put like Formula One news in here, but what? Excuse me, what the frick? You know. Somehow he returned. That guy got banned from Formula One in the early 2010s because he got caught cheating. Somehow he's back. Somehow. Bro. I don't. Nor Sane Sr. for FIA president? It's not a bad idea. That lifetime ban was pretty short, yeah. EJ, he was really, really sorry. I don't... What? Stop it! Funny enough, there's a 1,888-page transcript of Congress NASA hearing about the future of the Saturn V. Look at this. I don't want to read this. Yeah, Murray, for real. SpaceX already has its own scientific research division, Trey. They've been doing that for a long time. Go to page 1888. Doctor, why do we say it that way? Is it because we don't know what the Russians are doing and therefore we can't honestly make this statement because we don't know? So therefore we say free world? I don't... Dr. Bisblinghoff. I don't think we know with any great precision exactly what they are doing in this area. I don't think we can honestly say they do have a large enough engine in development at the present time. 5 of these engines will be used on the first stage of the Saturn V. Engine technology has progressed such that the next larger engine size could have a thrust on the order of 20 to 30 million pounds. Excuse me. No turbo that time. That's almost what Starship has. Look at the picture below and on 1887. Holy shnikes. I love it, dude. I love it. See how crazy this is? This is great. We need to do this. That's awesome. That's so good. Now, that's a freaking rocket motor, man. Holy crap. That one freaking thing makes that much power. Multi-chamber engines. Oh, dude, that's sick. It's kind of like an aerospike, only a little bit different. The second engine shown, which is compared with a man's height, indicates the size of the engine, which would result if the F1 technology were employed to develop 24 million pounds of thrust. It should be noted that such an engine would be roughly equivalent in size to a 4-story building. Anybody got a pack of smokes? By increasing the chamber pressure through new advances in research, Hong Kong, the same... Where was I? I lost my train of thought. By increasing the chamber pressure through newer advances in research, the same thrust concept could be delivered by the third engine shown. An even more interesting engine concept shown on the far right where higher chamber pressure in one of the new nozzle design concepts are combined to develop an equivalent level of thrust. Figure 87 illustrates a model employing one of the advanced nozzle concepts that we've been working on, which has a cluster of individual combustion chambers. It has a single large pump in the center, supplying fuel and oxygen into the individual combustion chambers along the periphery, which in turn discharge into a common nozzle. That's kind of the same idea as an aerospike, but not exactly. Guys, this concept right here, that's Raptor. That concept is Raptor, by the way. Where Raptor would probably be about this tall. At least we got some of it. Yeah, a reverse aerospike. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trey, exactly. That sounds more like a Russian engine. Well, the Russian engines did multi-chamber. Russian engine, the RD-171 that we looked at yesterday, that's a multi-chamber engine. It's just not one multi-chamber engine into a big nozzle like that. Now we realize that we must go to higher chamber pressures, but this has introduced a number of problems which must be explored through future research. One of these is fluid pumping. To boost the propellant's pressure to several thousand psi required to pump it into the chamber. With regard to the matter of propellant pumping, it must be mentioned that a critical problem which continues to face us is cavitation, where the liquid flashes into vapor. Yep, that's still a thing. This influences greatly the characteristics of the flow in the pump passages and reduces the performance of the pump. This cavitation usually occurs in the first stage of the pump assembly, called an inducer. Yeah, cavitation in your fluid impellers is death. That's what happened to Rocket Factory Augsburg, and the rocket blew up on the pad, remember? Well, caught fire on the pad is the right way of saying it, but yeah. Yeah, it makes them very unhappy. Ever thought about building your own rocket engine? Black, the way I look at it is if I can't fix this, building a rocket engine is probably not something I can do. So let me ease into it, okay? I would also like to point out that this conversation here, it was in a authorization hearing. This is an authorization hearing. So this is like, this is pretty hard technical stuff for a meeting in Congress, which, huh. Check page 1904 and the next 5 pages. You'll see something ridiculous. Yep. Yep. Maybe I should do this off stream. It's kind of simple. How would a nuclear powered rocket engine work? Cool a nuclear reactor with liquid hydrogen and have the exhaust gases go through a de Laval nozzle. That's how a NERVA works, and use a tap-off cycle to drive your impellers. You have a nuclear reactor where you can change the amount of neutron flux, right, by actuating a moderator. Yeah, control rods, essentially, but radial control rods instead of linear control rods. They designed it already. Fluffy, they designed it. NERVA, so they're talking about NERVA in this, right? A nuclear-powered third stage for Saturn V. They built it. Yeah, they built it. They built a nuclear-powered third stage, and it made like 900-second specific impulse on the test stand. And then canceled it because Apollo was getting canceled. A working prototype, might I add. Use the zoom button in the top left. Yeah. Thanks, Mutter. That's what I mean when I say, you know, I love the space shuttle, but if I had to choose, you should have just kept doing that. Any recommendations on Apollo, book recommendations on the Apollo applications program? Not off the top of my head, John. Yep. See that? This is what I want. You guys remember how I said, like, you should take Gateway and you should make Gateway an EUS with a transfer module on it, with like a space station module attached to the exploration upper stage on SLS, with an Orion on the front. Make that your Gateway. You know why? You test it out at the surface of the moon, use it as a space station and get down to the surface of the moon, rectilinear halo orbit all. All right? You use that to prototype deep space voyages, and then use that exact same vehicle to do that with an Orion. Transvenusian injection. And then you use the EUS to do that to go to Mars. We need people that think like this now. Why do you think I tell you guys about this? Why do you think I refuse to be deterred? You know, like the freaking car. Everybody else would sign this. This car would be too far gone. It's too far gone. Frick you. Frick you. It's too far gone. Let me just shut up and let me fix the stupid thing. Jeez. It's frustrating, man. Oh, we can't do that. Why couldn't we do what I just said with SLS? Why couldn't we? Why couldn't we? Bull freaking crap, we couldn't do it. We could absolutely do it. We gotta want to do it. You gotta think like that. You gotta dream big, man. Would you just look at it? Would you look at this? Would you just look at yeah, right. Venus, yeah. Would you just look at it? Oh, would you look at this? Anyway. So Kiwi and Nerva got built. Nerva was operational. The only thing they had to do after that was basically take an S4B and remove the common bulkhead and then put it on a Saturn V. Yep, that's it. They Vipered Nerva. Does that make sense? This is what I mean. Bullcrap like Viper's been happening for a long time. And it's unacceptable. And I refuse to accept it anymore. Viper was the last straw. That was it. That's where I threw in the towel. Any more pictures? No, mostly because Apollo, but the nuclear test ban treaty basically was the was the straw that broke the camel's back. 1921. Now, ion engines actually exist. That's actually a thing. Solar electric is a thing. That's not a thing. What the frick this timeline, dude. Frick this timeline again. Frick this timeline times 3. I've seen the Nerva test footage, Trey. It's pretty crazy. Solar thermionic power systems. Could have been a thing. Not to be doomy, but hasn't the 2027 nuclear engine demo? It was 2026 erudite, and I don't know. Yeah, I haven't heard about it. Peaceful nuclear tech was exempt. It was mostly Apollo, John, yes. It's so frustrating, dude. It's so frustrating. We almost achieved greatness. We were this close. See what I mean, dude? Dream big. Do it. We got to get back to doing that. This was planned 62 years ago. Yeah, I know. I know. Flight 9 soon. Yeah, let's get into Starship news, shall we? See, contrast what you guys just saw to that press release about Viper. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's frustrating. And once again, I ain't trying to be cynical. We need to go further. I will always err on the side of optimism. That is how I roll. Because this stuff doesn't happen without optimism. A cynical space program doesn't last. I'm sorry. You think SpaceX sent it with Starship and did that because they were cynical about the results? Absolutely not. You think Blue sent New Glenn, knowing damn well that they might not catch that they might not land that first stage? No, we're not going to land the first stage. No, they launched it. You have to. You can't not be inherently optimistic and run a space program. It just doesn't work like that. Was boots on the moon in 2024 a realistic goal? John, it was a realistic goal in 2018. It's not 2018 anymore. What's the bet that the LEAT engine is going to be nuclear powered? The LEAT engine? I don't know. At least we have SpaceX, I guess. NASA needs to get back to doing this, Neptune. And I won't shut the hell up until they do. All right, let's see what's going on with Starship. So we have Ryan Caton, spaceflight enthusiast here. Starship Flight 9, notice to airmen, air hazard notice has just been published in a brand new area north of Cuba. This is highly likely a direct response to the raining steel in the Caribbean after the last two flights, 13th through the 16th. LEAD is the next generation SpaceX engine after Raptor. Oh, maybe. Speaking of dreaming big Starship could make a super heavy class reusable rocket with rapid iteration. Or is any... Think a startup could make a super... No, don't start by making something big. You have to start small. Rome wasn't built in a day. Unless you had really deep pockets, Erudite. Or had some technical expertise, i.e. people poached from other companies. All right. So it's looking, that's interesting, 13th through the 16th. And unless SpaceX really grinds the axe, I'm not sure you're going to get that. But I'm still thinking somewhere in here. Robe wasn't built in a day, but it burnt down in one. Yep. So last night, NSF and Lab Padre had a coverage of the OLM. If you guys didn't see it, this is the Lab Padre footage. We watched the NSF footage last night. They moved the orbital launch mount from Sanchez site to the pad. No word on when it's going to be lifted, though. Trying to look around for the Land Rover. That's why I'm interested in Dawn. They're profitable already. Uh-huh. What time was that? This was late last night, dude. I was streaming till 2 in the morning. Have you seen the docking hardware that came out of Star Factory today? Yes. So the OLM was moved. No word on when they're going to lift it, but soon. Chrome Kiwi commented on it. Was insane watching the SPMTs move from the giant OLM. Next will be the lift. Wondering how this would get done, and even more so with points cut off recently. Zach hinted at a lift with the clamps since they hold up a fully loaded booster and ship around 5,000 tons. The next day we got a lift plan thanks to Boca Bingo. This confirms the lift using hold down clamps. And we also got to look at the rigging. Yep, there you go. There's the spreader and the rigging to lift the OLM from RGB. And Chrome Kiwi drew a picture of how they're going to pick this thing up. That's a lot of shackles, dude. They're going to pick that thing up with 2 Liebherr 11,000s using 4 of the hold down points. Hey, Chrome, what's up, dude? That's awesome. That's so good. Thanks for doing this stuff, man. This is good stuff. That's badass, man. Really good. That render from Boca really kind of sealed it home, huh? Thanks, Heaps. You rock, dude. You're amazing. Oh, you just got gifted a sub.
This is space. I'm in space.
Yeah, dude, my pleasure. I want to show more people the stuff so more people see your dang renders because they're damn good. And that's coming from an ex-3D artist. You're pretty freaking good at what you do. Pretty damn good. You know? Man, rigging is nuts, though. That's some thick wires, man. Some thick stuff. SBL heavy venting going on? Yeah, I see it up there. Love following all this stuff. It's so insane. It's so cool. It's just, it's so damn cool. I can't get over how cool it is. It's awesome. Makes me so happy, Chrome. Like, it's freaking pleasure. Like, yeah, the second crane isn't over at the, second crane ain't over at the pad yet. We need 2 Liebherr 11,000s to party here. And the second one is still just chilling on the other side of the OLM. They moved the OLM kind of... It was at gate 2 here, or gate B, excuse me. They moved it up there, and it just kind of is chilling. Former, not X. Sure. What's the max lift on one of those things? 2 of them can lift that thing up, Pidgey. It depends on how much counterweight and the configuration of the crane, but it's more than enough. I think we have visitors. Hello? Free! And Titan! Oh! It's pupper time. Hello, buddy. Come here, bud. Titan!
Hey, you might want to switch your camera back.
Why? What's up? Oh, my pants are ripped.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. I was just like, they're just like hanging. So, I better tell
What are you
them.
gonna do? Why do you think I turned? No.
It wasn't hiding it at all. Titan! Daddy let you go free?
My pants are ripped. Just ignore that part. Hello. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? This is the Titan Bear. Titan. He's named after the Titan missile. Because when he runs like a missile.
Okay, I have a question for you, and I have it for chat too, actually. A box arrives at your doorstep. Everybody in the world gets this box. In that box is a piece of string that tells you how much longer you have left to live. Do you open the box?
No.
No?
No. Why would I want to know that?
Some people do want to know, but like, because then you could plan for it. See, Flykin says yes. Graham says no. See?
Hell no. I want to know that. Why do you want to know that? Light the box on fire and be like, huh.
You cannot destroy the box or the string.
What do you mean?
They're indestructible.
Why would they be indestructible?
Because they are.
How does that have any bearing on the original question? I'm confused.
Well, because you just said you would burn it. I'm telling you can't. So now the box has to sit in your closet for the rest of your life. And it tells you how much longer the rest of your life is.
Is it in real time?
What do you mean?
Does it update your life expectancy
no.
in real time?
So
or is it at the point of delivery?
At the point of delivery.
Yeah, I'd put it up on the shelf and forget it's there.
Yeah.
Or just throw it into Niagara Falls or something.
Probably a good way to handle it.
I don't need to know that information. Yeah, I'd return it to sender. Bring it to the post office. What the hell is this?
It goes in the squirrel.
I'd like to know Brimo's opinion on the future state of the car. The Dodge? Yeah, it goes in the square hole. That's right.
Can I? No, you can't steal other people's boxes. That's not how it works.
What is this conversation?
That was the theory behind so I read The Measure. That was the book my book club was talking about, and I never thought to ask you or chat what they would do. So I thought I would ask you. Here's the thing, because they're like, I would open the box. I wouldn't open the box. You know what would happen? They don't know immediately that that's what the length, what the string means. It takes them a year to figure out that the string means how much longer you have left to live. And I was like, you know what? If a box shows up at my door, I'm opening it because I'm like, I didn't order this. What the hell is inside of it? And then I'm going to know either way.
Yeah, but that wasn't your original prompt.
Exactly. No, I know. I know that's not my original prompt. My prompt, I honestly, the way I felt was I would do whatever EJ does because I want us to be on the same page. I don't want it to be like, oh, I know Brimo has a short stringer. I know Brimo has a long, we would either do it together or not at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I was like, but also if a random box showed up at my doorstep, I'm opening it because that's what I do now. Anyway, I just thought I'd ask.
Can you use the box as a heat shield? Now, there's a good idea. All of us get our indestructible boxes. We don't open them, and we use them to make a fully reusable spacecraft. High five!
So, Mutter...
Now we're talking. That's the kind of ingenuity I'm looking for. Hell yeah. Let's go. Put them on Orion. Yes, that's right. There you go. I'd be like, I don't care how much time I have left. This is indestructible. We could do things with this. It is a breakthrough in material science.
Uno reverse.
Oh, the no use sign is in the car.
Oh. You should have brought it in with you.
Yeah.
Mutter, just because you asked, the premise of the book is that nobody gets the box until they're 22. So
I don't know about you.
But I'm feeling 22?
No, I wouldn't open the box though.
Oh. I was really I would make this decision based on what you think. I was kind of I don't think I want to know. I want to know, but I also would be
my mother
very
told me I could
by
be
that
anyone I wanted to
I wouldn't
be.
be tempted by it at all.
Turns out
No.
identity
No, I've
theft
seen this
is a
movie
crime.
Does the box lose its invincibility after being opened?
I don't think so. I can't remember if the box has your name on it or not either. It probably does.
Oh,
I like your idea of just throwing it in Niagara Falls. Just
I don't want to know this information. I don't even want to be tempted by it. Why would you want to know that? What if it says next week?
Yeah, exactly.
That would suck.
Right?
That would suck a lot.
Yeah.
That would be just awful. I wouldn't want to know that.
So here's...
I don't want to see it coming.
That's true. So
That would be terrible. That would change the way you think about life entirely. Probably for the worse.
Exactly. That's what this book was about.
Screw that. If you have more surface area to work with, discard the contents and unfold it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it does have your name on it. Okay, thank you. Somebody said their wife read that book.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, the only thing I would want to know is like, we're putting all this money in the house, right? And I'm like, we could use that money to travel the world if we had shorter strings. That would be the only reason I would want to know. To be like, is this a worthwhile investment to make?
It's not about the house. It's about the family that you build in the house. That's why I want to invest in this property.
Okay, fair. Why do you make me sound like an asshole?
Why are you swearing in my family-friendly stream? Look at how red she's getting. High five!
No, I look.
Sorry.
But never mind. That gets too deep for chat. Sounds like this box has some real potential.
You'd want to know, Mark? Don't have anyone to give my stuff to. Oh, there you go.
Can I trade the box? Okay, so there was a plot point in this book. Nobody in this chat's gonna read it. Where they make, like, if you're joining the military, you have to disclose how long your string is so that they can decide if they want to give you, like, a secret position or not. And two of the boys switch strings. For reasons. So there was a plot point. You could theoretically switch strings. But it doesn't affect, like, if you switch strings, it doesn't affect the length of your life.
That just sounds like copium to me.
What do you mean?
I got a shorter string, so I have this coping. String is a lie.
It's an interesting concept. I would not, like, I gave the book a 3 out of 5. I wanted it to be more...
Perfect 5 out of 7.
There were a million ways the premise could have gone, and it turned into a bunch of cliches. So, I don't know.
Baron.
Alright, I'm sorry. I can let you get back to space news.
How's Titan doing?
He's just laying there.
Is Titan happy with this conversation? Hello, buddy.
Hello. Hello, my boy. How are you doing? How you doing? How you doing, Marcus? What's the boy?
Yeah, it's such a sci-fi like premise, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. So I just,
Oh boy, how you doing?
Hi, Daddy.
How you doing?
Mommy put me in a room
Oh, yeah?
for a couple hours.
Oh,
I was in the room.
you had to watch the house, huh?
Yeah, hard to do that from a room. While hosting IFT9 stream, she did Star Hopper. You were saying you might stay here for...
Depends on when it is.
Yeah.
If it approaches the second or the third. Hi, Babas.
Memorial Day?
If it yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No. Sorry.
I've heard as close as the 15th, but I've also heard as far as the 21st. If it's 21st,
I say you stay
we're
here.
covering it right here.
Yeah.
That was a Bjork. Did you hear the Titan
He
Bjork?
did, he did do a Bjork.
Bjork. Titan, come here. Come here, bud. Up. Get up here. Come on. Come on. Yay. He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy.
Look at this boy. Look at this boy.
Yeah, our dog's name is Titan.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Oh, there you go, Mike. Nice.
They're all good boys, Brett.
They're all good boys. Yeah, Jack, the dog is named Titan. We didn't name him that, believe it or not. That was his name when we adopted him. And I was like, I like Titan missiles, so, you know.
And he was 2. You're not going to change his name at 2. Oh, buddy.
Hi, Titan. What the? You need a belly rub? You need the belly rub, bubbies? Hey there, boy.
I saw a bunny outside.
You saw a bunny?
I did.
Really?
I ran after it. I almost pulled Mom's arm out of the socket, but she's fine now.
Oh, okay. He talks, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's actually. I think he's actually named after the Tennessee Titans, because he comes from Tennessee.
Yeah, we adopted him from Tennessee, so he's probably named after the Titans. But we changed his name, his namesake, from being the Tennessee Titans to the Titan missile. So, you know, is Titan full of methane? No. Well, technically, it'd be full of hypergalls and solid rocket fuel. But he is the color of an SRB, if that helps. Now, what are the Titans named after? I have no idea.
Greek mythology, probably.
What?
Greek mythology.
Yeah, she's right. See? Titan agrees.
Does he leave solid rocket boosters in the yard?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Floppy ears, best ears? I mean, even Titan can't agree on that. He can't make up his mind. He's a very decisive pupper.
What? What? What do you want? Being a boy right now.
I want to go back out. Why am I locked in this room?
Come here. Over here. Get off the green screen. Come here.
Go bug him.
He wants to jump up on you. He doesn't want to jump up on me.
Go jump up on Dad. Why don't you want to jump up on Dad?
Titan leaves unexploded ordnance on your front yard and around the neighborhood. That's right.
Oh, sorry.
You okay?
I stepped on his toe. I'm the worst.
Okay.
You want to leave?
Yeah, I think he's good. Bye, Titan. I'll see you home later tonight.
Okay. Bye, baby. Love you.
Whoa.
What?
Nothing. Just grab my head.
Well, I was gonna kiss your top of your hat, and then I realized it was all mechanic-y.
Yeah, it has car all over it.
Yeah, so then I was like, oh, I guess I gotta give him a real kiss.
Guess what? There's still mechanic-y stuff all over my face.
Yeah, but a real kiss is cuter anyway, so.
Can't argue with that logic, I guess.
Alright.
I have bits of car in my beard and stuff. It's great.
It happens.
Alright. Love you.
Oh, put your wedding ring back on. It's in your SCE box.
The Ox box.
The Ox box.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me. Bob, you were asking what Bree thinks about the Coronet. She likes it. She thinks it's a cool car. She likes that it was made in Detroit. Bro's getting ready for the next Apollo mission. Of course I am, dude. Try SCE to auxiliary. Got my signal condition electronic switch. All right. So we saw the renders from Chrome Kiwi. They were awesome. Chrome, if you're still out here, love what you do, buddy. I'm gonna keep spreading the word if you don't mind. If you do, let me know. Let's see what RGV is up to. Got a picture of the tank farm. See, the second crane is still sitting over there. That crane, the OLM is right here. That crane needs to go over here somehow. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but we'll see. We watched the Strato launch video already, Brendan. That Talon TA2 is pretty damn cool. Should be the envy of all getting groceries in that thing. Yep. A reminder. What are you reminding me of? Thanks. It's fine by you. All right, man. Cool, cool. Just wanted to be absolutely sure. Yep. That's what they're going to do. Except it won't be the circle. It'll go in the square hole. What's the crane on the left? The big one? It is the square hole. Your left. That's an 11,000 over here, and this is a that is a 13K, I believe, with a power boom attachment. That's what this is called. This is called the power boom. An 11,350 goalie? Thank you. That's what it is. Yeah, 11,3. I knew there was a 3 somewhere. Baron, they don't need a power boom here to put the OLM on. They just need 2 11,000s. The reason why they had the power boom segment with the long derrick and the twin jibs is for stacking the tower segments. That was the reason. Yeah, still far, exactly. Yeah, so I was welding and I decided that I don't need weld arcing to the ring and cutting my finger off. Yeah, I don't need my ring finger plasma cut off because I was stupid being dumb around a welder. It looks like they use parts from other cranes. Galactic Surfer, these types of cranes, the lattice cranes, are basically a Lego set, or, well, an erector set, actually, if you want to be more technical. Yeah, this is a bunch of different cranes. In fact, you just buy the house, and then you buy the attachments a la carte from Liebherr. Like, you can buy the jibs. See the 2 rabbit ears things up there? Those are called jib masts, right? This is a power boom right here. That's a power boom extension right here. So you can, if you need a stronger boom to lift up heavier things like tower segments. The derrick is configurable. You can change the length of the derrick. You can't change the mast. That's what this thing is. That's the mast right there. But it's an erector set, dude. Yeah, you can just buy as many of these segments as you want. Oh, golly, there's a picture of the power boom. Yep. And then there's the twin pulleys like what you were talking about last night. Golly. There's your twins, and then wow. That is a big block, dude. We call that the Franken crane on NSF. Yeah, it's like it's a bunch of different cranes put together. That's what that power boom is. We'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah, you can just add more. They're called lattice cranes. Yeah, that's why it's painted all different colors, because that's like parts from 3 different cranes being put together to make one bigger crane. Could a crane these sizes handle ITS rocket and infrastructure? Yeah, of course. I always thought that's super cool that the crane is just a gigantic Lego kit. there are, see these things right here, these steel brackets that hold everything together, those are called pendants. You can just change the length. You can just add more pendants or less, and you can change the geometry of the crane. And then you add more lattice segments here. The lattice segments go together with pins. There's just 2 pins there, and then 2 pins there, and that's it. And then they're codded into place. That's it. What's your background? You know your stuff. I love cranes. Real Colonel? Yeah. I love cranes are awesome. Hoisting is badass, man. That's my background. I don't have I'm not a hoisting guy. I know one of my good friends is a crane operator. He runs stuff like this. And he taught me a lot about these things. They're badass, dude. Cranes are super cool. Lifting stuff up is awesome. Very, very cool. If I'm not mistaken, they used Franken crane to stack the first Starship. They did, Brandon. Yep. The only thing better than a crane is more cranes. Yeah, hell yeah. I love building Lego cranes, but they always crumble. It happens. You can build, dude, there's a Liebherr 11,000 Lego kit. It's like $700, and I just can't justify that in my mind, but you could build one of these. There's a Lego Technic. Dude, I'll show you. Here. It's really, really freaking cool. And I really want it, but I don't. But I really do. And it's configurable just like the real one. X-Wing, you're in the dentist chair with super high anxiety. Tech asks what I'm listening to. Total Mustream. Tech says, oh, cool. Working on the car today? Let me know if the puppy cam comes on. Wait, what? The actual frick, X-Wing. They're saying Lego building stream. Do that. Don't do that. X-Wing, did that really just happen? You're at the dentist, and the guy at the dentist knew who I was? That's weird. Hydro cranes are better than crawler cranes. Oh, it's remote control and it works, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that. Dude, I would immediately go try to see if I can get more lattice for this thing and build a gigantic version of this. The word is out. EJ's getting famous. Can confirm she came home with a numb mouth and everything. Was he talking like this, X-Wing? Please Google Mould King 17015. Moon King 17015. What do we got? Is this Mega Blocks? Tough rope. It's Mould King. Oh, yeah, Mould King. Yeah, that answers. Mould King is its own company, off-brand blocks, 100% compatible. Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. I would love to buy that, but I don't know. You could also buy a small block. You could buy a V8 for your car for the same price. I just can't. Oh, Mold King is China. I'm not sure I'm about that life. Anyway, last bit of space news here. Check this out, dudes. Look. This thing popped out into the ring yard this morning. Starship has headlights. Yeah. Then was sent to the scrapyard. Oh. Yeah, I've seen this. Isn't this the Iron Giant? Why would you not tell your family about a giant robot? Ship 35 is set to roll to Massey's tomorrow, potentially another static fire. Also fresh off the press from Yak. So that looks like some type of refueling prototype. But, Mr. Yak. Oh. I'm gonna do it. 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 I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. We're there. I'm doing it. We're there. We're here. All right, anyway, what's this picture about? Let's see. Damn, this thing's cool. Oh yeah, there's all the piping there. A YouTube comment was telling me that they haven't finished all the piping underneath here. And they'll finish the water pipes and stuff after the OLM is stacked. So there's no hole here right now, but they're going to dig it back up. Will the joke land? I don't know. That lift is not going to be for a while. They're still preparing the ground. Yeah, I got you. EJ, if you had an action figure with a pull string coming out of its back, the first thing that would come out of your mouth would be, "That's right, it goes in the square hole." It would crush the pipes. Yep. You don't want the ground to sink, and we know that it will sink. Oh, see, they did move the OLM a little further in. They do have enough space for the crane to get over there. But yeah, Goalie, that explains why the other crane isn't there. Supersonic retro propulsion. That would be the other one. And 154 as well. Yeah, laying pipe. Damn it, Techo. How heavy is the OLM? Yes. It's got to be over 1,000 tons, dude. That's a big piece of equipment, man. They don't have enough crane mats also, it looks like. Yeah. I don't know. Do they? Like... Yeah, it's hard. I don't know, maybe. Now Long March 5. Pad B is so much better than Pad A. Yeah, I do like this. This thing is sick. Oh, here it comes. Oh, it's going to be a rot. Yeah, yep. Not even close. Yep. Pad A had to walk so B could run. There you go. See that roller flattening the ground? Yes. Well, we see cranes doing hypersonic retropropulsion. Don't let your dreams be dreams. This is a great picture from Jack. There's a lot of eye candy in this. Dudes, the progress on this thing, though. Holy cow. And there's the pegs to put this thing together. How many generators you need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I counted at least 17. There's probably 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Oh my goodness. Jeez. $27. That's a bobcat. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. There's a lot. 40, 40. Dude, there's a lot. There's a lot of generators, man. I wonder what this slab is for over here. Guys, do we know what this one is, that slab is about? Or is that leftover from like pad B or something? Fuel truck job would be fun there, right? Right? Air separator tray. Secret pad C. I don't think it's so secret, but all right. You know what this looks like? Factorio. It looks like Factorio. Does it not? It looks like Factorio. How many porta potties? They have a row of them over there. Oh, here it comes. Oh, it's going to be a rot. Where's the biters? Over here. Crazy, man. What a great shot from Jack. That's really good. Isn't there an entrance on the left side? Gate A is over there. Over there. It's off frame to the right. You can't see it. Okay. Dude, who is this? Who is that? That's awesome. That's pretty funny. Okay. That landed. I'm happy. I'm happy. That's right. It goes in the square hole. Do you know where the arch goes? That's right. It goes in the square hole. Yeah. They understood the assignment. Someone understood the assignment. Chad understood the assignment too. Oh my goodness. Oh, shoot. All right. It's 9 o'clock. That was 3 hours of space news, believe it or not. 3 hours. That was 3 hours of space news? How did that even happen? The square hole, just like the coronet's floor? I wouldn't describe that as a square hole. It's time to play MSC. It's time to play MSC. I'm trying to get to the MSC race. Where does the streamer go? That's right, they go in the mass hole. Alright. That's just removing metal. That's no longer a car. That was me with the cat profile picture. Nice. Maybe the floor goes in the square hole depths, but my trash cans are cylindric. Are we tracking Cosmos 482? I vaguely I've been keeping track of it. Saw them last. If you have a second, what does your burrito-y butt want? Also, I have a panel interview with Blue tomorrow. Anyone in chat have any recommendations for not pooping your pants? Where depends. You'll be fine, Taco. You got this. You'll be good. Are you putting a rear-mounted Elephant Hemi in that bad boy? No. Although, I'll be honest with you, we based off of what I saw today, we basically have a blank canvas back there. We can make whatever we want back there, because there ain't much car left. Last, if you're free, of course. For you, sure. On a fun note, what is fun? Did the floor metal arrive? It should be tomorrow or Friday. You put the IRS in it? An independent rear suspension? I mean, there's not, we could put an independent rear in it. Like, what would we do? What would we get it from? Fun fact, Booster 1091 is in fact a Falcon Heavy center core that will fly in a single stick configuration a handful of times before being reconfigured and flying as a Falcon Heavy. This way we get some use out of it while the Heavy customer finishes up the payload, while also reducing risk as it will be flight proven. Huh. Interesting. Huh. What if in the future you go all Edison Motors on the Coronet? I wouldn't do that. That's not the type of car that I want. That's not the type of build I want from that vehicle. Corvette? I'm not putting Chevy parts on a Dodge, especially a vintage Dodge. Sorry, you did some digging. For an APU hybrid car, the big problem is that APUs produce 400 hertz and we need 50 to 60 hertz, and you can get one that makes 1.5 kilowatts. No way. Huh. But wait, isn't this Mercedes E-Class suspension? I don't want to do that. What are you playing for Friday Night Racing? We're racing Imola on Friday. I thought you wanted to get to the MSC race. I do. Different view of the lever crane. Yeah, that's big. Cool. Sweet. It is. It's basically the same thing. I don't want to put Mercedes parts in my vintage Mopar. That's weird. Didn't even look at the background.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Dave, 97-month resub. Mutter gave 100 bits to the Crane Fund, too. It's a big hiff. Hope all's good with you, dude. Yeah, Dave. We're getting there. Hey, EJ, what is this? Four-link Mopar triangulated coil-over rear suspension system. It's $2,400. Okay, we'll do that down the road. Mutter, that looks like it picks up on the factory suspension mounts too. I would do that. Remember, guys, one of my build rules is that we're not going to modify the car in a way that will not allow it to be reverted to stock. Modifying it to accept that subframe would require some heavy modifications to the back. I want the shell to be stock. Whatever else from there, that's my rule. I want the shell to be stock. I know that sounds dumb. It's a four-door. No one cares. That's my rule. Could you even handle a Hellcat? We would need a lot of reinforcement, but they make reinforcement kits, goalie, because when they first started Hellcat swapping B-bodies and like 10 years ago, the engine was bending the entire frame. Didn't you talk about this? You guys really don't want me to play Summer Car, do you? Bad rule. Thanks. Paul, what's going on? What did Scott do? Oh, yeah, this. Yeah. I replied to this. Gonna need a bigger VAB. Oh, no. Nah. Yes! 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 This is great! Yes! Excellent! I am the harbinger of chaos! I love it! How about making it a Joe Dirt replica? What was that model built on? So it looks like Scott there. Hold on. It looks like Scott put a super heavy with SN5 basically behind it. So a Starship with no wings and no payload bay and an inner stage with an EUS on top of it, the Universal Stage Adapter and Orion. I like the rule. It allows you to revert back if you want and keeps you from getting in over your head. Bingo, rarest. That's my rule. Hydrolox upper stage option, wet dry mass, Centaur, ICPS, New Glen second stage, S4B, EUS. If SLS had just skipped the booster and developed an upper stage for Starship, it would be a more interesting program.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Paul, tier 1 6 months in advance. Whoa. SLS has just skipped the booster and developed an upper stage for Starship. It would be a more interesting program. Okay. And on that bombshell, let's play Summer Car. All right. That's going to do it for Space News. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was the Space and Rocket Review. We're switching over to my summer car. So, I will be taking a momentary break here, and then let's jump into MSC. Once again, don't go anywhere. Be back in a moment.